Alright guys, now that we got a little bit more detailed up close look, I'm going to kind of show you what we're doing to the details of the vehicle. I'm going to start off with the products that I'm going to be using to do this. I did not go to the hobby store and buy a bunch of different colors. I got a wife and a daughter who are mad crazy about doing all kinds of silly things with their nails. So I kind of rooted around in their stash a little bit and found some colors that I wanted. So I wanted to get a little bit of orange for some of my clearance lights, a little bit of red for some of the lights on the rear, maybe a little bit of yellow for some of the lights towards the front. I'm going to back all of my colors with some white to make them pop real nice. And then I did end up buying some black because they didn't have any black for their fingernails because we're not goth or anything like that. But I did have to get some black from the hobby store. I'm going to use this for all the body trim, the window trim, basically all the things you would expect to be black on a vehicle. So that's what we're working with. These of course have built-in brushes to them if you've ever seen nail polish before, watching the wife do it or whatever. And then of course I picked up a simple little hobby brush for the black paint that I had that did not come with its own brush. So what I want to do next is mask out the things that I want to make sure to keep paint free and clear from. I want to try to keep crisp edges. So I'm going to be using some simple painter's tape, and I'm going to use my hobby knife as well to create some nice shapes and cuts and lines that I can have nice crisp edges on all the things I'm trying to paint detail into. We're going to fast forward through this part of the video, do a little bit of a time lapse because it is going to take a long time to accomplish this next step because it's a lot of detail. So you're going to see things go pretty quickly. We'll go a little bit slower for the first one, but we'll speed up through the whole process once you kind of get the hang of it. So I'll start off with probably the most easy and obvious detail first to give you an idea where we're starting at. So taking our masking tape, I'm going to give myself a little strip that's long enough. Now I'm going to try to paint the vent, the air vent that's behind the hood of the vehicle first, which would be this piece right here. I'm going to do it in black because that's the color you would expect it to be on the vehicle. So we're going to lay down our masking tape and we're going to try to follow the line of that vent as close as we can. They do make different types of masking tape that you can use. This is the paper-based version. If you want to spend a little bit more, you can get vinyl-based masking tape, which allows you to turn corners really well. Different widths will allow you the ability to provide finer detail with just the paint by itself. I've been doing this for a little while, so I'm personally comfortable with using the thicker paper-based tape. Because I plan on using my hobby knife to clean up all my edges that my tape couldn't do for me. It's a personal choice, but again, if you want to spend a little bit more money, they make lots of different types of tape for this, different widths, different materials. Vinyl is your best friend because it stretches and it curves really well. So there's my first line. Now I'm going to take another piece of tape. I'm going to go around this segment right here. This one's going to be a little bit more challenging because we do have a pretty tight curve right here. That's where the hobby knife is going to come into play. It's going to kind of save my butt a little bit because the tape's not going to be able to make that tight of a corner. We'll get started with the tape and we'll start cutting. So again, just another piece, a little bit longer than the width of the vehicle, just like before. I think because I have less of curvature towards the inside, the middle of the vehicle, I think that's where I'm going to start with this one and work my way out. It's going to be really difficult to follow that sharp curve. I can follow this simple curve pretty easily though, I think. I have to cut it in just a little bit. It is too sharp of a curve. And again, this is where those different types of tape are really going to save you. We're going to end up having to use a few different pieces of tape to do this because of how tight this curve is. I'm okay with that. You might not be. You might not want to spend all that time. And I don't blame you, because you want to get out. You want to have fun with the car, right? I do too. So we're just going to go a little bit extra over the edge that we're going to be cutting into. The great thing that I love about these bodies is there's lines everywhere. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but it's really easy for me to see, and I can feel it with my fingernail. But there's this line that goes all the way around. It's going to make it really easy to see where to put my cut. Right now I'm just trying to get the tape all nice and tight down into that line. Get one more little tab over here on the other side to cover that up. Smash it down in there real good with your fingernail, or if your fingernails are cut short, just use some other similar object, I suppose. Dull object would be best. You don't cut into anything just yet because we're not ready to cut. I'm dropping nail polish everywhere. It's not going to work out for the wife. The reason why you want to try to make sure that this is tight as possible is anywhere that you have this tape edge that is not tight, paint will get in there. So the tighter you can get it, the less likely you are to have paint escaping your lines and bleeding off out to the side. If that happens, you can fix it, but it's a pain in the butt. So it's better to just do it right the first time around. So I got the old hobby knife out. If you're young and you're doing this, please be careful. These buggers are super sharp. So we're just going to follow the lines that are already cut into the body. Just making a small little cut. I'm trying to match this cut up with where my other tape left off, because I was able to make that smooth curve even with my tape. It worked out. I'm going to come back up in here in the corner again, meet that line again, and start following the next curve. This body seems to have a little bit of bumps, maybe some slight imperfections in the molding. So the knife gets a little bit jumpy when it hits some of those spots. Alright, so I'm just making a reference point that I'm stopping at this other little nub of tape that I put in there. I'm going to kind of switch my grip here so I get a better angle on this side. Same process, starting in the corner, right up here. I'm going to try to meet down to my smooth tape line that I already had from before. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I got all of it. Some key points that you want to focus on before you start removing your masking. Big areas that it's common that it's going to catch on is your corners. It's a really good idea just to go back and double check your corners. I like to give them just a little bit of an extra score. I've had corners catch on me in the past, and when it happens, it's a pain in the butt to clean it out. So we're just going to give it another little score to make sure that it's cut all the way through the tape. Now we should be ready to remove this extra masking. And you can take your hobby knife, since you already have it in your hand to do this, or you can take any other object, it's fine. We're just going to kind of gently work it under the edge of our tape here. Once we get it under the edge, you'll see it will lift. And then we're just going to peel it out. So there's the leftover piece of that little nub. We'll do the same over here. again, our little nub. Now we just have to remove this one little sliver that goes all the way across the vent. There we go. And we're left with the perfect shape of our vent. The same way that it's molded into the actual body. So now when we start painting, the paint is going to look like it just belongs there. We're going to do the same process for all of the other pieces that we want to do, including the windows. Now the windows is the only part that this shell came with its own masking for. So everything else we're going to have to do manually, again with the hobby knife and the tape. When we get to the windows, we're saved by grace because the body came with that masking set already. So from here, we're going to fast forward this video, time lapse as we go through this process, hitting all the different little details and applying that paint. But now you see how you can create that mask. For now, just sit back and enjoy watching the little chipmunks do some painting. Alright, cool. We'll see you in a bit.